You get out and then you get sucked. Did you ever hear that song? Give me one reason to stay here and I'll turn right back around. I mean, I'm not a good singer, but we do remember that song. Give me one reason to stay here and I'll turn right back around. If you are in a situation where you find yourself in and out of something, you get out and then you get sucked back in, or you're confused constantly, should you stay or should you go, and you're asking yourself, what are the good reasons to go? Not actually to stay, but what are the good reasons to go? And what kind of person asks themselves this question? Let's be real, right? Who needs to know what are the good reasons to get out of something? Well, it's survivors, it's overcomers, it's overachievers, it's people like me and you who are so determined to turn something around that we stay in it long after anybody else would have already been gone. We are the ride or die. We are the people that keep hoping and holding out hope that things are going to change and turn around if we just stick in there long enough. And so we end up asking the type of questions, well, what are the good reasons to go? Well, today I've got you. I'm actually going to give you 3 damn good reasons to get out of your long-term relationship. It's harder, right, when it's a long-term, maybe a little easier when it's like newer and you don't have so much time invested, or there aren't kids or property or things like that. So I'm going to go over these reasons with you today. If you're new here, let me take a minute and say, hi, I'm Heidi. Welcome home. I'm glad you're here. I'm the founder of the Codependency Institute. And what we do over there is help overachievers in dysfunctional relationships identify and eradicate their toxic and dysfunctional patterns so that they can have the happy, healthy, drama-free relationships that they deserve. Now, if you want to go deeper on this and you're really seriously considering in this new year, you're like, you know what, I need to make some major decisions about my relationship, especially now is the time for me to do that, then I want you to know right now I'm enrolling for my brand new signature course called The Decision, where it's 12 weeks with semi-private coaching with me live behind closed doors, where I'm going to hear about your unique situation and I'm going to deepen my connection with you and come alongside of you and help you make those tough decisions and then actually implement the decisions that you've made. So if you're interested in that, go fill out a questionnaire or schedule a complimentary consultation. All right. So let's get into it today. What are the 3 damn good reasons to get out of this thing? You've invested your time, you've invested your energy. Well, the first reason that you want to consider actually getting out of this thing is that most of your time in this relationship is spent strategizing or manipulating or scratching your head trying to figure out how to get this person to change. Here's a question I want to ask you. If this person never changes, if things continue to stay the same, do you still want them? Now, you might say to me, Heidi, that's ridiculous. Everybody can change. Everybody can reach their full potential. And you know why you feel that way? Because look at you. You've overcome some very difficult obstacles in your own life. You've had a challenging or tough background go at things, and you managed to do it. You put on your big girl pants or your big boy pants, and you sucked it up and powered through. So shouldn't everybody else be able to get their shit together too? No, honey, not everybody else is built like you. Not everybody else is able to do the things and accomplish the things that you have. And that false sense of toxic positivity, that false sense of hope that we have that everybody can live up to this standard, everybody can excel, is really holding you captive. So you're constantly strategizing and manipulating how to bring out the better in that person. Not even the best, honey, just the better. Right? You're constantly strategizing or manipulating how to get them to see your value, or get them to manipulate and strategize to get them to stop their self-destructive behavior. Maybe they're over drinking or medicating or using substances. Or you're trying to get them to see your value because there's an infidelity issue in that relationship. And you just feel like if you hang on long enough, that's going to work itself out and you're going to help them, become the person that they're meant to be. I get it because a lot of us are codependent that way. We're fixers in our relationships. And so we end up in these dynamics where we're strategizing and manipulating. But I have to tell you, what else would you be doing if you weren't strategizing and manipulating in your relationship to get somebody to see your value and come around and be a better human being? Well, you'd probably be with somebody who was a true partner, somebody who was meeting you where you're at and actually adding tremendous value to your life, not sucking from you. All right. So that's the first thing I want you to consider. Now, again, I know this is easier said than done. I know you've been thinking about leaving this dynamic, this relationship for a long time. Likely, it's not your first time considering this. If you found this video and you're searching out the answers, I'm going to give them to you. But here's the thing. Awareness in one of these three things is the first step. And I use the AIM approach. I want to put that awareness in motion. And that means taking the next step and coming alongside of me in one of my signature programs so that I can help you untether here. Because at the end of the day, you can be held like a prisoner in your own mind, you know, psychologically entangled with this person, emotionally entangled with this person, and it takes some undoing. It takes some serious rewiring there to help you get out of this dynamic so that you're not being held hostage psychologically or emotionally by somebody else, especially if you've been strategizing, manipulating for a long time. So that's the first thing. If you're trying to get them to change, I want you to consider detaching from that toxic positivity that everybody can do it. Just step up. No, that's not how life works. Not everybody can do it. Okay. Sometimes what you're asking somebody is like looking at a man in a wheelchair with no legs and asking him to run a marathon and getting pissed off that he can't walk. You know, I mean, that's what we're doing, right? The second damn good reason to get out of something is you don't like who you are inside of this relationship, meaning you've become somebody you're not. You've lost yourself along the way. You've bended and morphed and you're starting to be whoever you need to be in order to fit into this dynamic. And it's really costing you your sense of self. Your identity is lost in the mix here. Now, I know for me, I had somebody like this in my life that I was basically obsessed with. You know, on paper, he was like the perfect person for me, or so I thought. And I was always strategizing, manipulating to get him to commit. It was like, you know, it was a constant struggle to get him to see my value and to get him to pick me. You know, I was always pick me over other people, pick me. And the reality was that I had become somebody that I didn't want to be in that dynamic, meaning he'd go out and I'd be looking through his stuff, searching through his phone, trying to figure out, put the puzzle pieces together. Who's this person? Who's that person? What's he doing? And I was like neurotic. I mean, before that, I considered myself to be pretty secure, and I just turned into this jealous, insecure person, and I didn't like myself inside of that dynamic. Also, if you consider yourself to be like a chameleon, you can kind of fit in anywhere, and you end up taking on whatever personality or persona that person wants you to be instead of who you really are. And then at the end of the day, you feel like nobody really knows you. You feel like you put all this energy into knowing everybody else, but nobody really knows the true you and who you really are, or your heart, or they don't value your needs or your desires because you've become this like people pleasing person that just puts everybody else's needs before your own, and you lose yourself. So that's a damn good reason to get out of something. You know, it's like you're not lost. You don't need to go find yourself. You need to excavate it, honey. You need to dig her up. She's in there, but she's been buried under all the expectations of everybody else has put on you, and all of the pressures that you put on yourself to measure up to some standard outside of what you really truly desire for yourself. You know, trying to measure up, try to get people to see your value, try to do all those things. So that's the second reason. That's a damn good reason to get out. All right. The third thing, this is a damn good reason, is that you're waiting for enough ammunition to get out. You're like, you know, your gut's telling you, you're like, I know this situation isn't right. You know, I know that I deserve better. I do think that there's some shady behavior going on. I do believe that they are not loyal or trustworthy, or that they're using drugs or substances, or there's something sinister going on behind the scenes, but you don't have enough proof. So you're waiting for mounting evidence. I've been there too. In that past relationship, I would drive by the house just to catch the car in the driveway. If I could just catch, then it wasn't enough to catch the car in the driveway. It was like, well, maybe their car broke down on the driveway. Maybe I need to catch that person in the actual bed with the person. And then it was like, well, maybe they're just having a sleepover. I mean, come on, right? You know the drill. You find the evidence and then you talk yourself, you gaslight yourself right out of the evidence that you found. And this is like a product of that difficult childhood, actually. This is a product of being gaslit and putting up with so much bullshit throughout your life that you have a black belt in bullshit, so you can take and handle more bullshit than most people. All right? So you're waiting for it to get so bad before you go, that you have enough evidence that people will go, yep, Susan's right. That guy's an asshole. You know, that you have enough evidence that you're justified. But you know, You're justified without that mounting evidence. You don't have to prove anything in a court of law beyond a shadow of reason of a doubt. You just have to know in your heart that this isn't working for you anymore. You don't need so much ammo. But I understand where you're coming from because you're a unique person. You've been through a lot in your life. You have a high tolerance for bullshit. You're able to suffer through. But what is it costing you? It's likely costing you so much. Your emotional freedom, right? Because your emotions are hijacked. When they're okay, you're okay. When they're being nice to you, you feel good. When they are spinning out of control, you get spun out of control. Psychologically, you're trapped, you're hostage because you're constantly strategizing and manipulating about that relationship or obsessing about that person or trying to figure out how to get them to change or stop doing whatever they're doing. And again, on the other side of that is you being able to really find complete and total freedom psychologically, emotionally, for you to claim your own value, stand in your worth, and not be afraid of what's going to happen whenever you release somebody and hold the door open. You know, the kindest thing you can do for people that want to leave you isn't talk them into staying, it's holding the goddamn door so they can leave. But I know that's hard for you. That's why I've created the programs I've created. That's why I do the work that I do. I see you, I get you, I am you. I'm a little further down the path because I've done a lot of releasing in my life and it feels damn good. All right. And I want the same for you. So go over to lovecoachheidi.com, fill out a consultation. In the meantime, look at one of these 3 reasons. Awareness is the first step. Where are you struggling? Are you stuck in these damn good reasons because you're waiting for more evidence? You're still hopeful you can change this person because you're the hero, you're the fixer. Or are you just not liking yourself and you're stuck there and blaming yourself? Actually, you're feeling super responsible for all these problems in the relationship when it actually has nothing to do with you. All right. I mean, it has something to do with you because you're staying. But ultimately, if you're with somebody who's toxic or dysfunctional and they're telling you you're the problem, you start to believe it after a while, don't you? Right? You need wise counsel. You need an objective person to come alongside of you and be able to see things clearly and help you navigate through all this. All right. And that's exactly what I'm here to do. That's what I long to do. And I want to make sure it's a good fit. So schedule a consultation and let's see what the next step is for both of us. All right. I love you. Take excellent care of yourself. Let's put that awareness now into motion. Take the next step. All right. Love you. See you really soon. By the way, please leave a comment. YouTube is so big. It is a giant place. It helps us help more people whenever you leave a comment because it gets seen. The videos get shared and things like that. So please do that. Like and leave a comment. And I appreciate you. I love your comments. I'm reading them. I love your messages. The things that you're saying are warming my heart. I'm so grateful that these videos are helping. Imagine what a program would do. If these videos are helping you, imagine what going through a program with me would do. It'll change your life. All right. I love you. Have an excellent day. Take excellent care of yourself. See you really soon. Bye-bye.